Hey, it's Ty Screams, and I'm about to give you a recap of what happened on season 47, episode 11 of Survivor. Back at camp, Kyle is feeling a bit sad about playing a part in getting Gabe out, but he's justified in his decision, saying that he knew Gabe would have targeted him sooner or later. Sue also feels crushed about being left out of the vote, but has a fire within her to get Kyle out. We start the next day with a rainstorm, and everyone is praying for some sun. Sue is still feeling down about Gabe leaving, but Caroline wants to talk with her, and Sue is reluctant at first. But Caroline explains her decision of voting Gabe, and Sue feels like they're back to being each other's number ones. Rachel, Andy, and Teeny are at the water well talking about staying a core three when Sue and Caroline walk up. Rachel then brings up that she feels good about all of them, and they realize it's a majority, so they form the Underdog Alliance. In the shelter, Genevieve points out that her, Kyle, and Sam are definitely the three biggest threats in the game. They worry that the other five are just going to pick them off. Genevieve gets reflective on how she hasn't been forming connections after realizing she blindsided Kishan, saying the power of connections isn't worth the distraught of crushing someone's dreams. Andy discusses how he's in a crushing position in the game, having the best relationships with everyone, including the biggest targets. A boat arrives and someone must board in order to head on a journey. Sam, Genevieve, and Rachel all raise their hands to go, so they draw rocks and Rachel gets the purple rock and heads out. Rachel approaches the barge in the middle of the ocean and must sort balls within a specific time frame before the puzzle gets pulled off of the edge and into the ocean. She drops the weight and begins the puzzle. And just before the puzzle gets pulled off the barge, she completes it and gains a secret block of vote advantage. She gets back to camp and tells 99% of the truth, leaving out that she got the advantage. Sam doesn't believe her and knows that she has something, but Rachel pulls the Underdog Alliance aside and tells each of them about not losing her vote, and they're all super excited. Genevieve then approaches Rachel about getting out one of the goats, Andy or Sue, and Rachel gives her lip service. Rachel then tells Andy that they're both aligned in thinking that Genevieve is the biggest threat. For the immunity challenge, the castaways must hold onto a board connected to a rope, where they must walk out and balance the word immunity without dropping any of the letters. This is a tense battle between everyone where they're all able to get to the last few letters, but then they end up dropping. But Rachel is able to finally spell out immunity and actually secure immunity for herself. Back at camp, everyone knows that Kyle is the vote, Sue even salivating at the idea. Genevieve and Sam are realizing that they would lose a number and their games would be done. Andy then tries to pitch Genevieve to the underdogs and pull some random percentages out of thin air about Kyle, but they're not buying it and they push back saying Kyle needs to go first. At Tribal Council, Sam tries to warn the tribe about voting out big threats. Kyle tries to reduce his threat level, and Andy straight up admits to the jury that he lied to them. Caroline also takes a moment to quote Genevieve to Genevieve, which was a pretty cool thing to see. Then they all vote. No one plays any advantages or idols, so Jeff reads them off. Genevieve, Kyle, Teeny, Kyle, and Kyle. And that's four, and that's enough. Kyle goes through and hugs each and every person and thanks them as well. Jeff then snuffs his torch. Kyle gives Jeff a hug as well and becomes the fourth member of the jury. Well, they finally got the biggest comp beast out in the tribe. I cannot believe it took this long to get Kyle out. But you know what? He took it really well. He was very thankful for the opportunity, and I'm glad that he's still going to be around for the jury. But who do you think is going to go next? Until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next week for another recap of Survivor.